Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and guess who in Bentonville?
Yeah, see, this is what Chuck and Bo.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Morning clouds with a very isolated shower possible, then partly to mostly sunny as we go through your Tuesday with highs in the upper 60s. East to southeast winds under 10 miles an hour. Scattered clouds tonight with lows in the upper 40s. Sunny skies and much warmer on Wednesday, highs in the mid 80s. Clear and mid 60s Wednesday night. I'm Matthew Harding with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
Spring projects are coming fast, so now's the time to fix it before it starts. At C2 Supply, we've got the industrial and agricultural supplies you need to keep every project running smoothly. From fasteners and fittings to tools, safety gear, and hard-to-find parts, C2 Supply helps you gear up before the work gets going. Don't let missing supplies or worn-out parts cause downtime. Get spring project ready with C2 Supply in Podo. C2 Supply. Let us see to your supply needs. 602 North Broadway in Podo, or give us a call at 918-647-0430.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, you're listening to ESPN 95.3.
PRX Paris Fort Smith.
For 51 kids, now young adults, their playground dreams have been answered. They've arrived at college basketball's greatest stage, the Final Four. 1994 Final Four is underway, and Arkansas in control first. What about the Big Nasty, as they know him? Well, Jim, you don't get to a tournament final like this without having a super player, and all four of these teams do have that. For Arkansas, it's Corliss Williamson on the inside. Williamson again down on the blocks, and you're right, Billy, starting to get a little flow now. Back, Roberts, and one. Said when we went to the halftime break that you cannot embrace any kind of success against Arkansas. The only time you celebrate against Arkansas is a half hour after the game when you're in a restaurant having a cheeseburger. Stewart, here's that shot we're talking about. Yeah. unbelievable range, incredibly sweet, quick shot right off the shoulder. 9-point margin. The difference. Nolan Richardson will play for the championship Monday night.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, produced by Colton Little.
With Ty Richardson, this is The Morning Rush.
You know, I mean, doing these Time Travel Tuesdays here on The Morning Rush, and a lot of it's been based around the CDs that we found at The Morning Rush around 20 years old. And this morning, since Arkansas is on the brink of playing Arizona Thursday night, I thought it'd be a good idea to travel back to 1994 when you took on the Wildcats in Charlotte, North Carolina on April 7th, and you won 91-82. Corliss was fantastic. Fantastic. 11 of 18. At 31 points, I think 12 rebounds. Scotty had 14. Clint McDaniel added 12 off the bench. But the key in this game, no surprise, was defense. Arkansas held down Reeves, Khalid Reeves to 6 of 19, and Damon Stoudemire to 5 of 24. The two outstanding guards for the late Lute Olson and the Arizona Wildcats. And Arkansas went on to win the national championship days later against Duke, 76-72. Do you remember that game? Colton and I weren't alive.
No, I don't. No.
A lot of these times, like, I'm just reading, listening. I do my best over the years when you go back and you hear about things or you see things from Razorback games from the past, and just reading up on it this morning, the expectations that Arkansas and Nolan Richardson had been able to get over the hump, which were preposterous, as we found out. I will say this, and I don't know if you gain the same respect for Richard Pitino after listening to that, but he was over the top complimentary of Coach Richardson before the game and after the game. And there's a mutual respect between those two. Now, there are competitors like other great coaches, Hall of Famers. But I will say this, and I had a chance to listen to Coach Pitino last year in person and when Arkansas took on St. John's before and after the game. And listen, I'd never play for him. He seems like a psychopath. But I will say, like, I actually kind of liked listening to him and hearing what he had to say about Arkansas and Coach prior to that game and after that game as well.
Well, he was a great coach, and at that time, he was kind of at one of his pinnacles of his coaching career. Obviously, he was about to take Kentucky to a championship in the next couple of seasons. He had done really well, I believe, at Providence. So, I mean, he had stuff going for him there, and he was Slick Rick back in the day. And it's like I mentioned this yesterday, whenever that player from St. John's this past weekend hit that shot. His stoicism, the way he's been around for so long, he would be great on TV. Maybe a little bit brash, but I think you're right, Ty. There was a really good insight, and that was probably one of my favorite parts from going back through it this morning was just hearing what all these commentators have to say about the Razorbacks during that time in the heyday of Razorback basketball. And I'm obviously extremely jealous that I wasn't around to be able to watch all these great players in that building that was always just full of rabid Razorback fans. And it seemed like we were kind of where Kentucky is right now, where if you're not in the Final Four every year, I mean, you're not doing good enough. The expectation on that program was super high. So it's always great to go back and look through those and then to have it be, the same matchup you're going to have this Thursday night against Arizona to make it to that national championship game for the first time. It's just a great tie-in here this morning. And that Arizona team, like you said, Ty, there was no shortage of talent on that team either, and the Razorbacks dispatched them.
Well, Joe and Jasper says that was the hardest intro you've ever made, which is saying something because you made some great opens over the...
It's a top song from 1994 right there, Warren G.
There you go. There you go. All right, thoughts on that coming up. You mentioned Kentucky. We're going to hear from Mark Pope and what he had to say on his latest coaches show, which I thought was interesting, really directed or indirected at the Razorbacks. John Calipari. Lewis Automotive Group hotline, like Joe and Jasper, just get on at 877-377-6963. Now, I had planned on staying at the Inn at the Mill on Sunday night if my flight had gotten in when it was supposed to. Luckily, I was able to get on standby and make it back home. But I kind of was like, man, I wouldn't mind getting a fresh homemade cookie and sleeping in that soft bed at the Inn at the Mill.
You come off the interstate.
Yeah, if you're maybe going to the UCA game tonight or Florida series coming up or any of the remaining baseball series, I know the AMP just announced some new concerts as well. The Inn at the Mill is perfect, whether it's Razorback events, concerts at the AMP, business travel, or just a weekend away. There's a lot of people that just do staycations in Northwest Arkansas, and I understand why. 479-443-1800 or visit inatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present. So as far as this game goes, to bring us back to what's ahead Thursday night at 8:45 Central Time, you've got an 11-game win streak versus 7-game win streak. You can get Arkansas right now at 40-1 to win the national championship, which seems to me like decent odds, right? Like a lot of you feel that Darius Acup is the best player remaining in the NCAA tournament or just the best player overall. Well, he's got a chance to be very much that on display this Thursday night against one of the best, if not the best defensive team in all of college basketball. And it's kind of ironic. Like there's an idea out there that Arkansas can't win this game. And I said this yesterday. I said it again. I picked Arizona to win the whole thing. I think they're going to win on Thursday. I hope I'm wrong. And I don't know because I wasn't around in '94, but there were more people thinking that Coach Olson and company were going to move on over Coach Richardson in Arkansas. Is it to that degree of severity? Is it more? I don't know because I can't accurately compare because I wasn't around then. But the expectation is that Arkansas is going to lose this game for the most part when you look at the line and panelists and analysts and whatever. We'll get a chance to watch the Razorbacks tomorrow at practice. We'll have some updates for you on Ruskin and Zach. John Calipari is going to meet with the media at 3:50 Central Time. Then we'll get a chance to hear from some players at 4:05 Central and give you some updates on Ruskin and Zach tomorrow, assuming there's no TSA issues, which as of this morning, I was checking the XNA website, and it's 2 to 5 minutes getting through security.
Pretty good.
So
Pretty good.
Right now we're okay, but hopefully just make it out west at some point in time.
Well, Ty, you did mention it right there. The overwhelming majority of college basketball fans and people that are watching March Madness right now, they're gonna put their money, they're gonna put their chips in the Arizona basket, and that makes sense. They're a really, really good team. But it's also very similar to like what you said back in 1994 when I was cutting up that audio this morning, like you had told me to do, trying to find good clips to pull out right there for our open that we can reference throughout the day. It took 10 minutes for them to talk about Arkansas in the broadcast. Literally 10 minutes. They were just dripping and slobbering all over Arizona. And I was like, man, they had no idea what was coming throughout the end of this game and down the stretch whenever Corliss would take over down there in the end of the second half and kind of put the game away for the Razorbacks. So that's kind of the same thing that we see right now. Look, this is a free shot at one of the best teams in all of college basketball. It's a very good program, one that you have obviously some storied history with. And let's not kid ourselves here. We still think that we're better than Arizona. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if they're number one. It doesn't matter if they're a number one seed. This is a very passionate Razorback fan base, and I think that the team hopefully is using some of that same motivation of, look, you're being overlooked. No one's giving you a shot. No one's giving you a chance to even come in here and play this game competitively. Go out there and show them that you can.
It is a complete dynamic difference from what they faced in Portland, where they were expected to move on and win. The expectations have shifted to the Arizona Wildcats, who, by the way, have not made the Elite Eight since 2015. Let's think about that. They haven't made a Final Four since 2001, and they haven't made an Elite Eight in over a decade. So you've mentioned that free shot aspect. That is very much in play. The expectations and pressures are on, from a national standpoint and locally, on Tommy Lloyd.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't want this to come across as loser talk, but I had Arkansas go into the second weekend. They have fulfilled my expectations. Anything past this is gravy.
Yeah.
If they win Thursday, obviously if they win Saturday, it's more than just gravy. It's the first Final Four since 1995 in 30-plus years. But that is the twist that we have ahead in front of us this Thursday relative to what it was in Portland, Oregon. We are going to be in San Jose, like I mentioned. Really appreciate Foster Roofing, Walk-Ons, Legacy Dental and Rogers, and Ozark Orthopedics being a part of our coverage. Foster Roofing, over 30 years in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley. Roof repair, replacement, and new construction. Go to roofwithfoster.com. Walk-On, 60-plus TVs in every location. You can take advantage of their catering menu if you want to eat at home and order online. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win. Legacy Dental and Rogers. My buddy, Dr. Reed Fawcett, accepting new patients now. Just opened his office within the last month or so, and they are off to a roaring start. They offer preventative care, cosmetic dentistry, restorative treatments. Go to LegacyDentalNWA.com and by Ozark Orthopedics. Get back to the activities you love. Schedule an appointment or get a free orthopedic injury advice at ozark-ortho.com. All right, so Colton mentioned Kentucky a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Mark Pope, Arkansas, live with Coach Calvin did what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
3 weeks ago?
I think before the SEC tournament.
North Carolina still got their coach's show, which has been moved because we don't know the status of Hubert Davis. And I didn't realize that Tom Leach, broadcaster for Kentucky, still had his job with not his job in Lexington. I actually like Tom Leach. Spent 45 minutes talk with him at my senior year. Great guy. But I didn't realize he still had a coach's show to do with Mark Pope.
In 72 games, we've played 10 with a full roster. This is what's going to shock you. If you take the 4 years before we got here and compare them to the 2 years since we've been here, we actually have a higher winning percentage in the last two than we did in the 4 preceding. We've won 3 games in the NCAA tournament. In the previous 4 years, we won 1 game total in the NCAA tournament. Last 2 years, we played the hardest strength of schedule in 2-year period in the history of Kentucky basketball. I think at times our guys feel like, man, everybody says this is the worst it's ever been. It's not. We're actually making positive we're making positive progress by the numbers, and I'm grateful for the work and the commitment of our guys, and we're going to keep going.
This is the opening drive.
What he said
That's so sad.
is
man.
accurate in the NCAA tournament stuff. Cal had tremendous regular seasons, with the exception of the year Arkansas, like AB, Jordan, and Nick. But that was like the one lone bad regular season that Cal had recently. But that is just for the Kentucky coach to just try to compare himself recently over and over with John Calipari and trying to make up for their second round exit when they spent the most. I don't care if it's $22 million. I don't care if it's less than that. It's more than that. It's widely known that they spent the most of any college basketball program on their roster. And I realized they had injuries. I get that. And they had, like, Jaden Quaid's, for example, he barely played this season.
Yeah, got a bag, though.
It was like, $100,000 a point or whatever
Got
it was
a bag,
reportedly. If I am a Kentucky fan and I'm hearing Pope do that, I just think, for me, and listen, I'm not a coach. For me, when you get on a microphone, like, for example, Kalen DeBoer, our buddy Connor O'Gara asked him about the Alabama standard post season 1 at SEC Media Days. Very direct. Hey, did your first season meet the Alabama standard? And he actually, I thought, answered it the right way. But if you're Pope, you just say, you know what? We had a tough schedule and some injuries, but that still is not an excuse for us getting beat in the second round. That is not the Kentucky brand. You know, the brand that he won a national championship with back in the 90s. He knows better than that. He dug himself a deeper grave with fans, and between him, Hubert Davis, and who's the other? Why am I blanking on the other blue blood coach? Bill Self, which Self won a national championship, 4 years ago? Yeah. So he's still okay. And he's apparently mulling over and she still wants to coach. But there's some blue bloods right now that they're wondering if their coach is going to be there at their position this next season. I think I say that. 2 of those guys will be back. I think Hubert Davis is going to be gone. They just want to do it the right way. Mm-hmm. But it's just wild when you think about the brands of North Carolina, Kansas, and Kentucky, how angry their fans are right now, or none of them are in the Sweet 16.
Well, I don't want to spend too much time talking about teams that aren't in the tournament, like Kansas and North Carolina, but we'll unpack this Kentucky thing for a minute, because, look, you could fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool full of big blue tears, and I'd just be in there just doing the breaststroke. I mean, butterfly, everything. I love it. It makes me happy, because their fans are 100% the most entitled fans next to Texas football fans that are possibly in the realm of sports fandom, and they suck, and their fans suck. But look, Mark Pope, he was always going to be chasing this ghost, and not this ghost of Calipari where you're, wildly successful or anything. Coach Cal had a nice run. He won a national championship. He brought a lot of great players in there, but you're always chasing this ghost of this Kentucky excellence that you, Mark Pope himself, you're supposed to know. You won a championship. So if there's anybody that understands what that standard is, I would assume that it would be Mark Pope. But there's this sort of limpness about him that you would never want to see from a coach at one of these blue blood programs. Like, you have to have a little bit of, I don't even know what the proper term is. I mean, chutzpah. You got to have a little bit of pizzazz about you. You can't be the type of guy that's getting beat in the middle of the season and talk about how you want to crawl up into your bed and die. I mean, the coach for Kentucky should realize that he is at the basketball school of all basketball schools. And I know the majority of their titles came way before integration, so they really don't even count. So who cares? But for Kentucky, you have this heightened expectation on your program every year, and that's fine. You're stupid. You're entitled. You're allowed to have that opinion. You're allowed to pour that money into your program. But Coach Pope was always going to be chasing the ghost of what Kentucky basketball was, not what it could be. And now with NIL and everything else coming in, the guy's way in over his head. He wasn't even that great of a coach at Utah Valley. And then he got a job at BYU, and he had 2 good years at BYU, some pretty average years. They won some games in the tournament. No, actually, they didn't. He came here to the NCAA tournament. Now he's won 3 in the past 2 years. That's great. Second weekend one time, that's awesome. But that's not good enough for Kentucky. And to me, Kentucky definitely did not get the people they thought they were going to get in this last coaching cycle. They said goodbye to Cal. That marriage had to end. It was totally fine with that. I think both sides it was an amicable breakup at that point. Mm-hmm. But they were never going to get anybody better than him. They were never going to get anybody better at representing what Kentucky basketball is to the whole populace of college basketball fans than Coach Cal, because Coach Cal is confident. He drips this aura about him all the time. And that came from him recruiting all these great players. It wasn't necessarily winning all these championships. It came from him recruiting all these great players. The promise of, look, this Kentucky Blue gets you into the NBA no matter what. Pope doesn't have that kind of pull. He doesn't even have that kind of coaching acumen. So he was never going to be as good as Coach Cal anyway. And what makes me laugh is Kentucky fans were talking about how they could lure Billy Donovan back or go get Brad Stevens, a guy that's got a cush job in an office in Boston. Or, hey, why don't we kick the tires on Dan Hurley, whose wife said they're never leaving Connecticut. That's what makes me. That's
Mark
what makes
Few,
me laugh. Yeah,
Scott Drew.
everybody. I mean, they swung and missed on literally everybody, and they tried to put this nice little present on it, this nice little bow on top of a turd with Mark Pope, and here we are. That bow is falling off, and it's starting to stink in Lexington. They're going to be fine. I feel like they'll end up coming back next year, having a competitive team. They're obviously, like you said, Ty, they're going to spend money, but Pope is always going to be chasing the ghost of his coach in Pitino and the guy that came behind and the guy that came before him in Coach Cal, because he is never going to be on that level of personality, of flair. It's just never going to happen. And that's what Kentucky needs. You got to have a badass coaching basketball at Kentucky, not some guy that can't handle the pressure.
Dustin texting in, limp is a very good way to describe Pope.
Thank you,
Colton. At 877-377.
Interpret that how you like.
6963. Quentin Clarksville is texting in. He is going to bet the Arkansas plus 310 to make the Elite Eight. Feels like it's free money if they beat Arizona, which he could turn his 300 to make 930. Well, Quentin, best of luck on that bet.
When you do, I'll be texting you.
Yeah. All right, we're running out of time here. Pradco Pyramid Power. Unfortunately, Bruce Stan is on a plane, so he will not be able to join us. The good news is I've gotten both Tommy and Bruce's Pradco Pyramid of Power, so we can
both wrong.
Yeah,
that
we can get into right now. By the way, Bruce sent me this picture of him and his wife. There's a place called Hurricane Hole in Key West where whatever you catch, you can eat.
Oh, it's catch and
they
cook.
catch and cook them. So they caught a yellowtail snapper, and they got a chance to eat that, which I thought was awesome. All right, so we'll start with Bruce. Bruce's Pyramid of Power. He's got Arkansas at 1, Bama at 2, Tennessee 4 straight Sweet 16. Says that Tommy can't call him regular season Rick anymore. Texas at 4, Florida at 5, Vanderbilt at 6. Tommy has the Razorbacks, like Bruce, at 1, Bama at 2, same thing, Tennessee at 3. He's got Florida at 4, despite their exit in the round of 32. He's got Texas at 5 and Vanderbilt at 6. So the only thing they switched was Texas and Florida. Colton, where were they right and where were they wrong?
Arkansas, obviously, number 1 with a bullet. They have looked the most impressive. I would say Alabama could probably be up there, too. They looked really, really good against Texas Tech. I've really got no disagreements right there, but to me, Florida, a defending national champion, getting knocked out before they can make it to the Sweet 16, in my opinion, that should put them at the bottom of the barrel. That's just me. I don't like Todd Golden, so that probably has a little bit to do with it as well. But for me, Vandy is what? They are like just a couple inches of nylon from going to the Sweet 16 as well. So I like to give them just a little bit of a bump up. I'd probably put them at 5 and then Vandy at 6 and keep everything else the same. Because Texas, I mean, you can say what you want about Gonzaga and Mark Few, but Gonzaga's been pretty much a mainstay in the Sweet 16 for a long time.
Yeah, they are.
And they're not this year because of Texas.
Yeah, I hate doing it. Give Texas credit, but like I said yesterday,
that'll be the end of that.
If Texas wins and Arkansas wins, that's not a bad way to potentially go to your first Final Four in 30-plus years by going through the Longhorns. All right, that is your Pradco Pyramid of Power. Tommy's going to be back next week. He's on vacation. Hopefully, Bruce is back next week as well. LureNet.com. You want to get all your Pradco lures with the click of a button? Well, it's the perfect place. Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more. Free shipping on all U.S. orders over $35. Whether it's you, your buddy, it's a Christmas present here coming up in the next few months, or maybe it's a birthday present. LureNet.com is the place that you can get all your favorite Pradco lures right here in Arkansas. The Rebel Crawfish, the Booyah Finesse Cover Spinnerbait, the Bobby Garland Original Baby Shad, and more. Again, it's LureNet.com. Pradco, made right here in Arkansas. We bring you the Pradco Pyramid of Power every single week, and we bring you your hog update next on the Morning Rush.
It's tournament time, and the road to the Final Four starts now. ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com are bringing you all the madness this March. Our exclusive coverage is brought to you by
Foster Roofing. Our coverage is also provided by Walk-Ons, Legacy Dental and Rogers, and by Ozark Orthopedics.
Here's Acup dribbling out at the logo. 1:05 to play. Darius left side going to launch a three, and he knocked it down. Dagger.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Superstars Joe Klein and Pat Bradley for Arkansas's #1 sports app, Bet Saracen.
Joe, you know the main difference between Bet Saracen and those other guys?
Definitely. Easier to navigate. Always good parlays. Plus lots of fun choices. Like ping pong. Right there on the app.
But the real difference are those special promos.
Get $250 on us with your first $25 wager.
Gambling problem? Call 800-GAMBLER.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one baby shad. The original baby shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original baby shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
Morning rush vibes that keep you on your toes. From 9 to 11, every day the magic flows.
Are there still places Taco Bell's crispy chicken nuggets haven't been? Sure. But the inside of a Crunchwrap slider is no longer one of them. The new crispy chicken Crunchwrap slider. All white meat chicken nuggets where only we could put them. Inside a slider-sized Crunchwrap. And the dipping sauce, it's along for the ride. On the inside. Choose from creamy chipotle or jalapeno honey mustard. The new crispy chicken Crunchwrap slider. A brand new classic. Only at Taco Bell.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off. Or take 5.9% financing for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2026 GMC Canyon for as low as $399 a month with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
At Arkansas Oklahoma Gas, we understand that cold weather months are about staying warm, keeping life running smoothly, and focusing on what truly matters. We also know that higher heating bills during this season can create stress, and we're here to help ease that burden. From a variety of payment options designed to fit your needs to assistance programs that provide extra support, our team is dedicated to helping you stay comfortable and worry-free all season long. Our customer care team is just a call away, or you can explore helpful resources online at aogc.com/winter. We're here for you this winter.
Bounce on into Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas for the best deals on new and pre-owned RVs. Whether you're looking for a motorhome, travel trailer, fifth wheel, or toy hauler, we have them all here at Crabtree. So avoid the madness of crowded cities and hotels this summer by taking your family team on the open road with the perfect RV from Crabtree RV Center. Conveniently located at the junction of I-40 and I-49, family owned and operated since 1950. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, not when you work with Tara Lindbergh and the Lindbergh Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Tara's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours, or you can use Tara's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust the team that delivers results. Go to LindberghTeam.com, LIMBIRD.
When it's time to stock the bar, fill the cooler, or grab the perfect bottle, stop by River Point Wine and Spirits. You'll love our clean, organized store, full of all the best liquor, wine, and beer at the right price. At River Point, we're a family-owned business where customer service is always our priority. So come stock up for game night, date night, or the weekend ahead. Your journey, our spirit. River Point Wine and Spirits, Grand Avenue and I-540.
Are you looking for a great deal on a previously owned vehicle but want to avoid high-pressure sales? If so, you need to visit Edwards Auto Sales in Roland. For over 30 years, Ernie Edwards and his staff have helped folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a buy here, pay here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility, 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
Is your bracket busted? Don't worry, you can still redeem yourself in the ESPN Arkansas and Mach 1 Motorsports Bracket Challenge Motorcycle Madness giveaway by filling out a Sweet 16 bracket. Go to hit.line.com/bracket. Our bracket challenge would not be possible without our presenting sponsors: Moix RV of Arkansas, Butler Furniture, Swift Jewelry, and Twin Peaks and Rogers. We'd also like to thank our participating sponsors: Brick Garage Doors, Phil Wright Autoplex, Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley, Century Bank of the Ozarks, Hirsch Feed and Farm Supply, and West Ark Yamaha.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Gage Wood, no hits him. Allen has a wide open man. It's Childs. He's loose. He scores. Childs, please.
Well, Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
ARKNSAS.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Go Hog.
I mean, they know we're shorthanded. So what? No one wants to hear that. I didn't see one story about it. I mean, and then when TB went down, I'm like, okay, now I got 5. How many do you really need? 5.
That was Cal after the win over High Point on Saturday. The main question that everyone has leading into this game is Thursday. It's about Nick Pringle's eligibility. Can he play? Well, I wish I could tell you one way or another here at 9:29 on this Time Travel Tuesday, but I don't have the answer. But maybe we kick that around in a little bit in our Morning Rush Daily question about if Arkansas can beat Arizona without Nick Pringle, and hopefully they can if he can't go, but we can get into that a little bit. Apparently Colton, I'm so used to saying Tommy. Razorbacks have been practicing. I saw Anthony Christensen had this at the Sacramento Kings facility, which is kind of cool. You got a couple connections that Cal has out there. De'Aaron Fox was on the team, and now you got Malik out there as well, Mr. Monk. So I know that's got to be a cool thing, especially apparently that Sacramento radio host says that the Kings are really, really liking what they've seen lately from Darius Acuff in terms of potential draft availability.
Well, yeah, it's just showing guys that, look, if you show up right now on this big stage, the biggest stage in college basketball, this will be your everyday. This will be your Monday through Friday, your 9 to 5. I mean, you'll be clocking into places like this with, all of these awesome, facilities and this great treatment that you can get, all the basketballs that you can shoot, and, a nice, comfortable place to relax. I mean, the gym for these NBA players, it's their home away from home. So to be in a facility like that, I know that what we have at Arkansas probably rivals a lot of NBA teams, and it probably is maybe a little bit better, if not pretty equivalent to what they have in Sacramento. But it's good for those kids to get to travel and see things like that, and I'm happy they got to do that and hope that they were practicing and hope that Nick Pringle was practicing with them.
Yeah, Darius, again, getting a lot of praise, getting a lot of adulation from different, not just coaches like John Calipari, but also ESPN and CBS college basketball analysts, including John Rothstein.
I don't know yet if obviously Arkansas is going to be able to rebound against Arizona's front court, but I do know this. The best player on the floor in that game is Darius Acuff.
As good as the Big 12 player of the year is in Jane Bradley and Braden Burry's freshman, Koa Pete, freshman. Man, that's wild to think about that you have. I say it's wild. It is interesting to think about that the best player in this game Thursday night is playing for you. The reason I bring that up is because as a team, there's no argument to make that saying Arkansas is better than theirs. They're not. But every once in a while, and I say every once in a while, sometimes you have young men, and Darius is not a kid. He is a young man. I think we've seen that through this season, that puts their team on their back. And you can do it. Matt Jones always talks about this. You can do it so much more in basketball than you can in football or baseball. Because in baseball, you hit, and then 8 guys have to hit behind you. And then in football, you're 1 of 11. Not that a quarterback doesn't have impact. We know all types of quarterback that have had that. Basketball can make the most difference of any individual. And that's why I'm excited to see Darius continue on this stretch where he has been special. Not just during the NCAA tournament, but you parlay what he did following his rest against Missouri, which people wondered about at the time, but it ended up being a great decision by Cal. He has exploded like no other in these last 5 games, 3 in Nashville and 2 in Portland. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It is brought to you by APAC and Standard Materials Group. Whether you need aggregates, asphalt, or ready-mix concrete, you need something for a commercial job or a residential job, they can help you out. 479-587-3300. That's 479-587-3300 for all your small projects, your residential, your large commercial jobs. They can make sure you're on the right track. Even if you just need advice or construction consultant services, they've got you covered at APAC and Standard Materials Group. Just a reminder, while we're not going to have the game on hitthatline.com, like in San Jose, for example, I can listen to Chuck and Bo. I'm not going to listen to the Morning Rush, obviously. Listen to Halftime and Ruskin and Zach on the Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. Press conferences, other updates, all of it's going to be there on the Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. Now, March is concluding, which means a couple of things. The NCAA tournament is getting closer to its end. You got the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, but you're also coming to an end on savings. And I know some of us are getting our tax refund back, and now I just wonder, it's like, do you spend it at Rath Auto Resources or Rath Mitsubishi? David, Larry, what do you think? Which one are we going to?
Of the third, David, what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I do know that I just doubled our new car inventory. Got our office manager all stressed out about how we're actually going to take care of covering that. So there is that. There's a whole lot of new cars to choose from up here at the Springdale store. 0% for 72 months on remaining 25 Outlanders. We got a few of those left. Those have been clearing out pretty fast, and a lot of used cars coming through too. I mean, we're watching those. I'm snapping pictures of them, getting them online just as fast as I can. So really good stuff. Got a couple of really good-looking Wranglers coming through that are going to Fort Smith, I believe. One's all lifted up, got the Fox shocks and all that cool stuff. That thing's not going to last long at all.
All right, Larry, I need a rebuttal.
You know, everything you said is right. We've got a bunch of new Mitsubishis right now. It's a terrific time to save on a new Mitsubishi with 0% for 72 months, and just terrific cars. Great warranty, great car, great safety features, great performance. They're great looking. Everything about that car just screams bargain, and it really is. The pricing on those, along with that incentive, just a terrific time to save on a new Mitsubishi. And as always, road-ready certified used cars, that's what we do, and we try to do that better than anybody. Best of the best in River Valley the last couple of years. Really excited about that. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, it's a road-ready certified used car, and that's only available at Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith, or Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Both stores are doing great. Folks, it's a great time to come in and save some green. Resources in Fort Smith or Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale.
I guess you could go to both, and they'd be happy to see you at either place.
Can you tell the therapy is working? We're getting along.
Yeah, y'all getting along a lot better. Usually it's just yelling. All right, Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Boys, you got some green to be saving people, so I'll let you get to it here on this beautiful Tuesday.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Adios, y'all.
All right, that's David Rath and Larry Rath. More of the Morning Rush when we come back.
Stars Joe Klein and Pat Bradley for Arkansas's #1 sports app. That's Saracen.
Joe, you know the main difference between Bet Saracen and those other guys?
Definitely. Easier to navigate. Always good parlays. Plus lots of fun choices. Like ping pong. Right there on the app.
But the real difference are those special promos.
Get $250 on us with your first $25 wager.
Gambling problem? Call 800-GAMBLER.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one baby shad. The original baby shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original baby shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
Hey, Cup hits that dagger 3, man. I let out a suey. I scared every deer and turkey around for a mile.
This is the Morning Rush
Save some green this spring at Rath Auto Resources. We've been hard at work getting ready for warmer weather, and we've put our best roster of road-ready certified pre-owned cars on the ground, priced to move and backed by a comprehensive warranty. With our non-commissioned sales team, painless pricing playbook, and the nation's best lenders, Rath's got the River Valley's deepest bench ready to take all the hassle out of getting your next ride. Don't settle for just any used car. Make the switch to Road Ready Certified and save some green this spring at Rath Auto Resources. Voted best pre-owned cars in the River Valley. 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith. RathAutoFortSmith.com.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Is it time for you to finally get the barn, hunting lodge, barn dominium, or garage you always wanted? Sutherland's is here to help. Hi, this is Jeremy, sales manager at Sutherland's. When you choose to work with us, you can expect top quality, expertise, and peace of mind, knowing that Sutherland's will do whatever it takes to get the building you've always wanted. For a free quote, call 1-800-66-BARNS. Free estimates at Sutherland's.com. For over 100 years, Sutherland's has been helping folks build it better. No matter the project, we're here to help. Because at Sutherland's, home starts here.
Bounce on into Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas for the best deals on new and pre-owned RVs. Whether you're looking for a motorhome, travel trailer, fifth wheel, or toy hauler, we have them all here at Crabtree. So avoid the madness of crowded cities and hotels this summer by taking your family team on the open road with the perfect RV from Crabtree RV Center. Conveniently located at the junction of I-40 and I-49, family owned and operated since 1950. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
We all plan to be on time, but fender bend, damaged windshield, and slick road quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call your local shelter agent, Ryan Hughes in Fort Smith.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
Arkansas fans, get fired up at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for Tex-Mex and Arkansas Game Day. Catch Arkansas basketball games live on our big TV screens. And when you wear your Arkansas gear, score half-price apps and cheap taps. Enjoy complimentary chips and homemade salsa, fresh and made from scratch every day. Don't miss Joe's Mexican-inspired daily specials, fast, friendly service, and the best game day fun in town. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps. Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off. Or take 5.9% financing for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2026 GMC Canyon for as low as $399 a month with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Kristen's Place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
All right, it's plain and simple. Can Arkansas win this game Thursday night if Nick Pringle does not participate? 877-377-6963, our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. We heard Carter Knox's timeline. Sounds like it hadn't changed. So Cal said a couple weeks ago, Final Four if they make it. Well, Sweet 16, Elite Eights this weekend. He ain't going to play. Can Arkansas defeat the number 7 tallest team in college basketball on average, this Thursday without their starting/backup center, depending on where he slots in. Colton, I'll let you go first, and we'll get to some text here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline.
My initial reaction, Ty, just a little quiz here. How do you win a basketball game?
Score more points
than the other team, correct?
Yeah.
Is Nick Pringle known for his point-scoring outputs?
No.
No, then I think that you should be fine. Obviously, you'd love to have Nick Pringle there to, give guys a breather like Malik and like TB, and obviously you'd want the full complement of your roster. I don't think that you need him to stay in the game and be competitive. I know that the guys, Acuff and Malik Thomas and Billy Richmond, those guys are gamers. They rise to the level of competition. Arizona's going to have their hands full with you, whether you have Nick Pringle or not. Nick Pringle obviously would make you have a deeper bench that you could go to, give guys that breather, but I don't think that you need him in order to win the game. You'd love to have him out there and make you feel a lot more comfortable, but if you go out there and you're able to shoot at a very, very high clip, which is what we've seen this team do several times this year whenever they really needed to.
Yeah.
It's one of the best three-point shooting teams in the SEC, probably one of the better three-point shooting teams in the NCAA tournament. So you got to be able to go out there and continuously do that because like we said yesterday, Ty, Arizona that don't attempt or make that many three-pointers. So it's going to be two different styles of play on both ends of the court. It'd be nice to have Nick Pringle out there, but in terms of actually winning the game, I don't think you need him. And I'm not convinced that they're going to lose the game anyway if they have Nick Pringle out there or not. Love to have him out there, but we've seen them do it without their best player in Darius Acuff against a Missouri team that's obviously nowhere near as good as Arizona. But this team has shown that whenever they, the chips are stacked against them, their back is against the wall, whatever, phrase or euphemism you want to use to attribute how they may feel right now with not having Knox and Pringle ready to go. They've shown that they can continuously step up and, guys can have out-of-body games. If Trevin Brazile goes off for like he did against Missouri and Texas and a couple times in the SEC tournament, that makes up for Nick Pringle not being out there. So I like to say no. I hope that I'm proven wrong and Nick Pringle just is ready to go anyway. We don't have to worry about it, but nice. I do think that you don't need him in order to win.
So I think the Arizona stat that you mentioned where they're 353rd out of 363rd out of 365 teams in 3 points attempted. While Arkansas is 316th. The difference on that is the Razorbacks are top 10. Arizona's 44th in 3-point percentage. And 44th is still really good. They just don't shoot. Neither of these teams shoot a lot of threes relative over the course of the season. Like Arkansas only attempted 16 last game. Yeah. They made 9. So if you can have like a percentage like that, you're going to be cooking. You're going to be in business. The problem is that you're going up against one of the taller teams in college basketball. They've got size on you with Bradley. And at the guard position, I would guess he's going to try and lock up Darius as best he can. That doesn't mean that Darius can't explode, but we've seen it at times this season when Darius has some length on him. He's not as effective at times. I think the deal with Nick is it's not only the rebounds and stuff, it's just the fouls. And Arkansas, the last 5 games, hasn't had an issue with guys getting in foul trouble, which is wild considering these tournament games. And maybe they let you play a little more. But that's just something to keep an eye on. So I'm going to say that you're not completely eliminated from winning if Pringle doesn't play, but it sure does diminish its chances. And maybe I'm also coming from the perspective that this guy's gotten a lot of crap this year from Razorback fans. Yeah. I don't think he's been healthy all year, or at least since for quite some time. I don't know if this is the same injury. I don't know if it's something different, but it would be real nice for this kid who's going on his, 5th or 6th year of college basketball to be a main reason why you got by Arizona number 1 seed, which, by the way, you beat a number 1 seed on this day back 4 years ago in Gonzaga in 2022. I don't know if that means anything, but just thought I'd bring it up.
Time Travel Tuesday,
Time Travel Tuesday, exactly. So that's kind of that's the perspective where I'm coming from.
Well, and with Nick, I'd just be curious personally, and I hope we get to hear something about him, coming up soon in this new media availability we're going to have here pretty soon before they tip off on Thursday night. I'd like to know what Nick's attitude is about this, because it's not like Coach Cal has, not played guys that may not be 100%. We've heard all year long, Darius was in a boot, Malik was in a hand cast, this guy was in the training room for 12 hours this week. So, playing guys that may not be 100% or guys that are a little bit dinged up, that's not a foreign concept to Cal. So I wonder if Nick is really a lot more, is ailing a lot more than we think he is, or maybe this is what Coach Cal did at Missouri, where he just gave Nick Pringle a breather whenever he obviously wasn't feeling up to himself the past 2 games, in hopes that, look, you're not playing a great team in Hawaii. You should be able to outmatch High Point. Check and check. Now, when you get into big boy basketball here in the Sweet 16, and we're going to need all hands on deck, now Nick Pringle has had this, what seems like a week or so off from playing basketball. Maybe he's ready to go. So I don't know if Nick's just like deferred. Maybe he's, because let's be honest about Nick Pringle. He's not going to the NBA. That's probably not his future as a basketball player. He wants to go somewhere overseas and make a lot of money and have a successful basketball career. He can probably do that. And I don't want to take away from all the hard work that he's done and how he's improved at times throughout this season. But it's not like Coach Cal's holding him off because there's some bigger picture for Nick Pringle. So you hope that right now that Nick's and Coach Cal's mindset is about focused on this team right here in this moment, which you'd have to think that it absolutely is. But I'm just curious to hear, what Nick's mindset is going through all this, because he's deferred to Malik Ewan, getting his minutes near the end of the season. So
good point.
I don't want to say that Nick's like, saying he's done, he's thrown in the towel. He's obviously gotten his paychecks, but at the same time, I would love to see him go out there and be able to give you 10 minutes, even if that's 10 minutes with 2 rebounds and no points. Hey, that's 10 minutes that Malik is on the bench and he's able to grab some water. That's 10 minutes that TB could be, sitting down for a second, grabbing a breather, stretching out a calf that may be sore. So you want him to be able to do that. And like I said, he's improved throughout the season. He's gone and he's, been able to give you 10 points from time to time and grab 6 or 7 rebounds from time to time. And I saw in the SEC tournament, before he obviously didn't play now in the NCAA tournament, he was rim running and moving very, very fast.
No,
so
we talked about that.
I hope that he can. I hope that he can get back to full health and that he's willing to do that, and the team is willing to let him do that as well.
All right, that is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. Great place that you can watch March Madness, not just Thursday night, but the rest of the weekend. Is it Cart Pass Social? Not only that, it's always BYOB. They can sell basic snacks and beverages, but you can bring your own food and your own beer and your own seltzers. You can have events there as well. These could be corporate events. These could be meetings, celebrations, whatever. CartPassSocial.com. My buddies Christian Olson and Nate Gerhan, 2 Rogers boys, 2 Arkansas guys that went to school with me, and they do an awesome job putting different events on. 122 Grand Place in Lowell, 479-487-3622. Or go online to CartPassSocial.com. It's always BYOB at Cart Pass Social. Let's go to the home of the Pirates. Welcome in Aaron this morning. Aaron, go ahead. You're on the Morning Rush here in Dover.
Hey, good morning, guys. Just want to let you guys know that we got this. We got this game in the bag. Them boys need to go out, play loose, and, it's not much dissimilar from last season, is it? Who did we have in the second round?
St. John's.
St. John's. What seed were they? Number 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're no stranger to this situation. We go play our game. They're going to go play their big game. We got this. Any chances of Carter coming back to play this game?
Not this game, unless something drastically changes, Aaron, but it would be Final Four would be his timeline. So they got to keep winning.
Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
So let me play devil's advocate just here for a second. Say we win this. We win this game. What does the rest of the bracket below us look like?
They got
Who would be our big
Texas and Purdue. Texas is the hottest team, just not on winning streak, but based on the double-digit seed that's in the tournament still.
And they're still not calling them a Cinderella. They had to do a play-in game just to even make the tournament. That's crazy.
It's weird to
Can't believe that.
It's
team.
weird calling Texas a Cinderella, isn't it, Aaron?
It really is. But, if you think about it, where we are now and where they came from, I would call them a Cinderella.
Mm-hmm.
But it just doesn't really fit them, though, does it? But, hey, I appreciate you guys. Go Hogs. Hogs by 90.
Hogs by 90.
Hogs
Thanks,
by
Aaron.
90. I like that. That's a good attitude.
All right, so that's one perspective. Seth and Rogers is coming from a different viewpoint and standpoint. There's too much false bravado going on with this fan base this week. Seth, I'm coming from the perspective that I don't think they're going to win on Thursday.
We know.
And if they do, I'm going to be as happy as I'll get out. I just think, like Florida, Arizona can take advantage of your weakness just with their size and the rebounding ability. I do like what I've seen from the three-point line from the Razorbacks, 15 threes in the SEC championship game, 9 of 16 the last one. That gives you hope considering Arizona doesn't shoot a lot of threes. You're still the number one team in college basketball, not turning the ball over, so that's nice that they're not going to get a lot of easy buckets on that end. It's just this team's lost by 3 and 4 all season, back-to-back games. That's it. There's still, Tech and who's the other team that lost to? Kansas, I think it is, and that's it. So maybe I'm wrong. I say maybe. I hope I'm wrong on that case. All right, this morning we are brought to you by Arts Barbecue and Burgers. The best burgers that you can get are at Arts. The Wild West burger topped with the hot leek and jalapeno plus the Arts hot sauce. You can get the brisket burger. Ask Wade and Morgan about the brisket burger with tender brisket and caramelized onions. Their burgers are all great at Arts Barbecue and Burgers, where you go to Arts Barbecue and Burgers for not just barbecue and burger cravings, but for their sides as well. Their French fries, their onion rings. Their onion rings are phenomenal. That is Arts Barbecue and Burgers on Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. Hour number 2 is coming up. We've got Tom Murphy to join us in just a bit. I know Tom's going to have some thoughts on this game Thursday, plus the baseball team as well. Ask him how his NCAA tournament bracket is going too. We're brought to you this morning by Burden Pools and Spas. When you're choosing a pool, you want your family to have a good time. That's why Burden Pools and Spas have trusted their brands for a long time. And families trust them as well since 1978. So it could be a hot tub, a sauna, a pool. Well, they help it all. In fact, they've helped over 9,000 families ease their stress, sleep better, and feel better thanks to a hot tub with Burden Pools and Spas. They're also Tylo saunas as well. Water for a better life. 4 locations in Springdale, Greenland, and Fort Smith and Hot Springs. BurdenPools.com.
It's March Madness, and few things in life are more important than showing up. Whether you show up for your family, friends, or the big game, it doesn't hurt to bring your favorite beef dish. Together, we bring more. Find your next March Madness crowd pleaser at beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council, courtesy of beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Superstars Joe Klein and Pat Bradley for Arkansas's #1 sports app, Bet Saracen.
Joe, you know the main difference between Bet Saracen and those other guys?
Definitely. Easier to navigate. Always good parlays. Plus lots of fun choices. Like ping pong. Right there on the app.
But the real difference are those special promos.
Get $250 on us with your first $25 wager.
Gambling problem? Call 800-GAMBLER.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one baby shad. The original baby shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original baby shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
This is the Morning Rush.
Save some green this spring at Rath Auto Resources. We've been hard at work getting ready for warmer weather, and we've put our best roster of road-ready certified pre-owned cars on the ground, priced to move and backed by a comprehensive warranty. With our non-commissioned sales team, painless pricing playbook, and the nation's best lenders, Rath's got the River Valley's deepest bench ready to take all the hassle out of getting your next ride. Don't settle for just any used car. Make the switch to Road Ready Certified and save some green this spring at Rath Auto Resources. Voted best pre-owned cars in the River Valley. 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith. RathAutoFortSmith.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
I want to ride my bicycle.
Looking for a new ride or need a tune-up? Champion Cycling in Fort Smith has you covered. From top-of-the-line bikes like Specialized and Surly to expert repairs, apparel, and accessories, we've got everything you need to hit the trails. Stop by 5500 Mazard Road during business hours or shop anytime online at championcycling.com. Champion Cycling, helping you share in the joy of cycling.
Want pavement protection that goes the distance? Seal-Tite of Oklahoma now offers Rhino-Tite Premium Asphalt Emulsified Sealant, the next level in driveway and parking lot care. Healthier for the environment, Rhino-Tite delivers superior defense against weather, UV rays, and wear and tear. With its high solids content, you'll get a smoother, stronger, longer-lasting driving surface. Whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or a contractor buying in bulk, Seal-Tite has the products and support you need. Visit SealTiteOklahoma.com today and protect your pavement with Rhino-Tite.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Enclaves at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. That's $4,000 off and 4.9% financing for up to 84 months on this luxurious third-row SUV. Or drive the brand-new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited-time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Morning clouds with a very isolated shower possible, then partly to mostly sunny as we go through your Tuesday with highs in the upper 60s. East to southeast winds under 10 miles an hour. Scattered clouds tonight with lows in the upper 40s. Sunny skies and much warmer on Wednesday, highs in the mid 80s. Clear and mid 60s Wednesday night. I'm Matthew Harding with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, you're listening to ESPN 95.3, ERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Michelob Ultra.
You could drink beer.
The superior light beer for the social athlete.
For 51 kids, now young adults, their playground dreams have been answered. They've arrived at college basketball's greatest stage, the Final Four. 1994 Final Four is underway, and Arkansas in control first. What about the Big Nasty as they know him? Well, Jim, you don't get to a tournament final like this without having a super player, and all four of these teams do have that. For Arkansas, it's Corliss Williamson on the inside. Williamson again down on the blocks, and you're right, Philly, starting to get a little flow now. Right back, Roberts, and one. Said when we went to the halftime break that you cannot embrace any kind of success against Arkansas. The only time you celebrate against Arkansas is a half hour after the game when you're in a restaurant having a cheeseburger. Stewart, here's that shot we talked about. Yeah. unbelievable range, incredibly sweet, quick shot right off the shoulder. 9-point margin. The difference. Nolan Richardson will play for the championship Monday night.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Produced by Colton Little with Ty Richardson. This is The Morning Rush.
I wonder how many people picked the Razorbacks to beat Arizona back in 1994. on their way to their first ever national championship over Duke and North Carolina just days later. But it is a Time Travel Tuesday. We figured we'd go back and listen to some of the highlights as Arkansas defeated Arizona 91-82 over Coach Richardson, over Coach Olson, and a lot of pundits, a lot of analysts thought that the Wildcats would move on, and instead it was the Razorbacks that got through. Don't know how many brackets it busted, but it probably did. Hey, let's say your bracket's busted right now. You could still do our 16-team bracket at the ESPN plus Mach 1 Motorsports Bracket Challenge. Just go to hitthatline.com/bracket. Enter to win not just a motorcycle, but other great prizes thanks to our friends at Swift's Jewelry, Butler Furniture, Moix RV of Arkansas, and Twin Peaks and Rogers. Hitthatline.com/bracket. Hitthatline.com/bracket. Tom Murphy's going to join us coming up in just a bit. We've got our CJ's Trivia Tuesday this hour. We'll get into some of the scheduling and whatnot. But, Cole, you said something in the first hour we need to repeat. So that game is on YouTube. It's about an hour and a half, hour 45.
Yeah.
What, the first 10 minutes or so, they didn't even mention the Razorbacks?
Well, it was just kind of like hey, this is how good Arizona is. Arizona, all these great players for Arizona. Coach Olson, it was kind of like the Razorbacks are sort of lucky to be here. It was kind of, you got the vibe that maybe nobody was really giving the Razorbacks credit for how successful they had been throughout that point in that decade, the hard work that Nolan Richardson had put in, and the star power that you had in guys like Corliss Williamson and Scotty Thurman. So it was, if you go back and you watch that broadcast on YouTube in its entirety, it's great. It's even got the great old school commercials in there and everything. If you watch that, you're going to be having to skip forward on that little arrow button down there at the bottom right of your keypad going, where did they talk about the Razorbacks?
You're just going to be
It takes
annoyed.
a second. Yeah.
Well, that's not surprising. It seems like it's par for the course.
It's always like that, yeah.
That's something I wanted to get in with Tom about, who will join us in just a sec. It's like, how much has Darius Acuff done for Arkansas, not just athletics, but really just the university, but the branding, Cal as well, the combination. And by the way, speaking of Darius, Colton, I'm glad you brought this up. I had this open, I just hadn't gotten to it yet. Darius Acuff has signed the first ever signature shoe deal while still in college. This coming from ESPN, so a big deal for Darius. Got a couple texts on that on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, so congratulations. I know Allen Iverson shared some posts from him. It's Reebok, right? Colton, I haven't double-checked.
Yes, it is Reebok.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
AI's brand. Yeah.
I assume that was the case, being that Allen Iverson signed with them in NBA for $60 million or something like that, and AI just shared a post about him. So we can talk more in depth about that coming up in just a bit. Speaking of shoes, I know some of you deal with foot pain and some of you deal with hip pain and back pain. Well, do you know it might be caused just because you don't have the right arch support? Well, luckily, the Good Feet store can help you out because they have specifically designed different arches to help alleviate some of those pains, plus provide more comfort, more balance, and a better life. So you're going to be personally fit by an arch support specialist. You can walk around and see how you feel. You decide before you buy, which is, I know, a big deal. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book an appointment and get your free fitting at goodfeet.com or stop by. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's a special going on. Listen, Friday, April 3rd and Saturday, April 4th, you're going to receive $100 off an arch support system. Now, they're located in Fayetteville, across from Walmart on Mall Avenue, and in Rogers, next to Hideaway Pizza, across from Topgolf. Get your active life back at the Good Feet store. All right, let's talk to our buddy Tom Murphy here on The Morning Rush.
We got something called beef, B-E-E-F.
This hour of the Morning Rush is presented by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. Tom,
I don't know if you caught that little snippet from Shams, but Darius Acuff's getting a shoe deal still in college, first ever athlete to get that. I mean, he's got these accolades, All-American lists. Wouldn't be surprised if he was. I mean, he's been named the SEC Player of the Year, still very much in the discussion for National Player of the Year. Good things just keep on coming for Darius, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. And, from all we've heard from all the folks inside U of A, he's just a good kid, good head on his shoulders. And we can see the way he distributes the ball and the times that he maybe takes over some games. It's all been kind of right on time. And so, good things happen to good people, and hopefully Darius is a force for good as he continues on through this tournament and goes on with the rest of his professional life.
You can read Tom's stuff, of course, in Whole Hog Sports and the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. I read some things on baseball, which we can talk about in just a bit coming up. But, Tom, I wanted to ask you a question that Gavin had texted in. I don't know if you saw this ESPN piece. I think Myron Metcalf wrote it, that Arkansas is like the 11th best team remaining in the NCAA tournament of the 16 teams. In your mind, where is Arkansas in relation to the rest of the field left in the Sweet 16?
Wow, just hearing that makes me think it's a little low. I mean, maybe they've got Arkansas behind Bama, and obviously there's a lot of higher seeded teams above Arkansas. Including a couple they've lost to, Duke and Houston, and I don't know. Arizona's right in front of them, and they can't worry about where the rest of the. They just need to beat Arizona, and I think it's doable. I mean, there was a time earlier this season where Arizona looked kind of invincible, and they're certainly a quality team. And but anyway, it matters not where you think they're ranked. It's just a matter of whether or not they can beat the team in front of them. But I'd probably put them a couple spots higher than that.
So, Tom, let me ask you on that. With this Arizona game looming, Nick Pringle's status is unknown, at least for now. Maybe we'll hear it tomorrow or see in the NCAA availability report tomorrow night. Can Arkansas beat Arizona without Nick Pringle?
Well, I mean, yes, they can. You shoot it well enough and do defend well. Yeah, you can do it. But at some point, those minutes are going to start adding up. And honestly, he gives you a bunch of fouls, and he's such a physical guy. And he does commit fouls, and but they get you some rebounds too, and just does a lot of gritty stuff. I love the little, the two-man game. Sometimes they run with him where he swings to the basket, sets a pick, and he's gotten a lot of lob dunks that way. So I'd like to see him available. The way they've made it sound like it's been, right on the brink and all that, and maybe it's a little bit of a gamesmanship, but they've been pretty coy about, how long it's going to take and what exactly is happening.
Tom Murphy with this Whole Hog Sports Arkansas Democrat Gazette. You mentioned the lobs not just to Nick, but how about Arkansas leading the country in dunks this season, and Billy, TB. I mean, this is, Tom, you've watched a lot of Arkansas basketball for nearly 20 years. Where does this rank in terms of just team excitement and what you've seen year in, year out?
Well, if you live through the 40 minutes of hell at its peak, when they were pressuring teams, and not a lot of teams were running that, they'd get a lot of, they'd get a lot of takeaways, and they kind of forced the officials to, like, are you going to call everything? Because, there's a lot of little hacks and bumps out on the perimeter and stuff. That was a really exciting brand of basketball because it led to runouts and dunks and all that.
Mm-hmm.
This is very similar to me because you could tell their chemistry is really good, and they work on it in practice. Just the little plays when everything's kind of in tight, but Richmond or Trevin or Pringle or Ewan will go to the rim and kind of point. And Malik is really good at those lob passes, and Acuff is really good too. They've been off a few times, but by and large, those things line up for them really well, and they've just got guys who can get up there, and they're really alert with what they see defensively that leads to those kind of things. And it's such a fan exciter that when they do those, because it's hard to defend against them.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned chemistry. That's something TB talked about. I'm forgetting if it was the Thursday night or Saturday I went after Portland. I think it was Thursday because he was in the presser. I think the chemistry between Malik and Darius has been really good because Malik's second fiddle. Like, he knows that. Everyone knows that's watching. But he's fit in nicely. In fact, he's, I think, fourth in the NCAA tournament right now, either freshman or overall scoring. He's shooting above, I think, 50%. I sense like Darren McFadden, Felix Jones vibes kind of there. Do you make that connection at all, Tom?
I do, and I think they kind of realize that they've been a special tandem. Certainly, Acuff gets a lot of the ink, but the Missouri game's always going to be one that you're like, yeah, wow, when Malik is given a little bit freer reign,
Mm-hmm.
he can get off, and he did. And so I do think they feel that their freshman tandem is one of the best that Arkansas has ever had, and maybe the best in the country this year. And that's a pretty outstanding thing. And also it lures more freshmen into the Cal system because you can see how he finds ways to give them freedom. You've heard national guys talking about that too, that Cal's recruiting acumen is the kind of thing that, frees up freshmen and it kind of, it replicates itself, it builds upon itself.
Mm-hmm. Not only just for the freshmen he's recruiting, like the ones he's got signed, and Jordan Smith and J.J. Andrews and Abdul Toure, but the transfer portal players as well. I've seen some notable guys that have either announced their intention or going to enter the transfer portal. So definitely plays a role in that, no question about it. Tom, one last basketball question before we switch it up and talk baseball with you. You got no Cinderellas in the Sweet 16. Second straight year you haven't had a mid-major program in. People are trying to say Texas is Cinderella, and I know they played in the play-in game, but do you care? Does that matter to you that there's no small schools represented in the Sweet 16 for a second straight season?
I'm always a fan of I can go way back to the 70s and with, when Penn made it to the Final Four and, Virginia Commonwealth with Shaka did that several years ago. It's always pretty exciting. George Washington made it there with Larinaga. I'm just throwing random teams out there, but you know what I mean. I liked the year a few years ago. Maybe the ratings weren't as big or whatever that year that San Diego, Florida Atlantic. Remember that San Diego State, Florida Atlantic? Yeah. I can't. It was a wild year. Maybe NIL has tightened up the higher paid rosters advanced the farthest. I don't know if it's great it's probably better for the ratings at a bunch of well-known teams. Texas certainly being the lowest rated seed out there at a number 11. But we can't let it distract from good games. There's been a lot of good games. Arkansas has been involved in a couple of them. That High Point game, that was high level. When that was over, you just heard all the national people talking about what fun it was to watch Acuff and Martin go at it. And so anyway, I guess a long roundabout answer to say that, yeah, I wish there was a Cinderella team still out there, but there's nothing we can do about it. It's been a great year for the Big Ten. You can't dispute that. And thankfully, Tennessee winning over Virginia limited the ACC to 1. I mean, all they've got left is Duke now. So all the SEC teams are lower, like they're underdogs in this next round. So that's going to be wild to see if they can advance any of them.
Tom, do we see an SEC team in the Final Four? You got Texas, Arkansas, Alabama, and Tennessee, like you said, all on one side of the bracket. Do any of those teams make the Final Four?
Well, I don't think Texas will. Arkansas might be the best bet. I mean, I guess the odd makers probably have Alabama there, but they've got a tough game. Aren't they playing Michigan?
In Chicago.
Yeah, that's a rough one. I saw somebody describe Michigan as a war machine.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be tough to beat. So the odds say that there won't be an SEC team. But if there is, I think it's Arkansas.
Well, hopefully that's the case. Tom, last name before we let you go, as always, we appreciate you joining us. UCA today, Baum-Walker Stadium, 2 in-state kids, one's from Maumelle, one's from Fayetteville on the mound for the Razorbacks and the Bears tonight. Just your thoughts before Arkansas gets back in SEC play with the Gators looming this weekend.
Right, there should be a fun game today. Nick Harlan, always good to talk to, the UCA coach. Always grateful to spend some time with us. And yeah, 2 Arkansas kids. He talked about the state of baseball in Arkansas. It's in a good place. The high schools are producing good kids. And so this is good to see. There's still issues. I wrote about it just a little bit today. Still issues on the infield. Like, Pompey had a bad weekend in South Carolina. Does Brumbaugh get another shot at shortstop? What do they do with it's kind of the Brumbaugh, Pompey, Koziel, Souza situation. And Souza's hot, so he'll be in the lineup. But then right field, Kahil Aloy is struggling a little bit, and Stewart's been playing the field more than him, which puts Kohio at DH, and then what do you do with Rutenbar and some other guys? So always some issues to work out, but Arkansas has played pretty dang well for some of the holes that we've seen so far this season.
You know, it's funny. You hear some people talk about this team, and you would think they were unranked and they'd lost their 2 first SEC series. Instead, they're in the top 5. They've won 2 SEC series, including basically getting a coach fired and Paul Maneri in this game last week in Columbia. So it's pretty. It's the expectation that DVH is, I guess, built here, despite again a top 5 program right now in college.
Yeah,
baseball.
absolutely right. Absolutely, you're still trying to fill the gaps, improve in certain situations. And I'll tell you, that Mississippi State Series win is going to go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Strength of schedule, that's a solid team that just is coming off of a sweep, and they're going to keep on coming, I think.
All right, Tom, we'll leave it there, buddy. Tom Murphy, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. He delivers the goods every single Tuesday and Thursday. His visits with us on Tuesday are brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Tom, we'll chat on Thursday, day of the big game.
All right, sounds like a plan. See ya.
All right, that's our buddy Tom. All right, we're brought to you this morning in our conversations with Tom, brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. On a cattle ranch, calves are not the only ones raised by their mother. They're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and vets committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is a top priority. Together, we bring more beef. It's What's for Dinner, funded by beef farmers and ranchers, courtesy of Beef. It's whatsfordinner.com. So back to the basketball game and whatnot. We got this text from Dennis in Springdale, which is Zachary, saying hitting shots at a high percentage negates Arizona's rebounding advantage. You're right. I think, but we also got a text earlier, like Arkansas is going up against a real test defensively. Like Arizona's got a lethal defense, top 5 defense, number 1 in effective field goal percentage. I think if you're an Arkansas fan, which I am, and you are, Colton, it's your defense that you're like pleading, begging for them to show up. Because while Arkansas scored 90 plus in both these games, 97 to 94, defense was not good at all against High Point.
And really, it wasn't that great against Hawaii at times either. I mean, it looked High Point. Obviously, we've all surmised that they were a little bit better than the team that you typically see out of whatever conference that they came from, and they had a really good roster that probably could have competed in some of these other Power 5 conferences as well. So I don't want to take anything away from High Point, but you're absolutely right. The defense has been this team's Achilles heel all season. Whenever they've played one of these top teams, the Dukes and the Houstons and all of these type teams in the upper echelon of college basketball, even Florida, although they recently lost this past weekend as well, they got worked a little bit inside. So I think that you're right. That defense is one thing that needs to be shored up. And you know, if you can't play great defense naturally, one of the things that you can do is you can be super aggressive, right? Well, no, you can't if you're Arkansas, because you're only going to play probably 5, 6, 7 players total because you don't have the full complements of your roster. So if I'm worried about anything, Ty, I think you're right. Obviously, it is the fact that we're not a team that has a lot of great defensive prowess. I think we have really good individual defenders. Billy Richmond is a guy that's a really good individual defender. Malik Thomas has been tasked with guarding the opposing team's best player multiple times throughout the season. DJ Wagner is a savvy veteran guard. He can come out there and bring some intensity on defense. Obviously, we've seen Malik and TB send shots into press row like we saw last weekend. So there's good individual defense and defensive capabilities from this from these guys as players on their own. But as a team, something there is just never quite clicked throughout the season on a 5, 6, 7 game basis, or whenever you really need it to against teams with super efficient offenses like we're going to see the Arizona Wildcats have on Thursday night. So I'm a little worried about the defense, but hey, I think that Dennis is right. If you can go out there and grab a bunch of rebounds because they're not making shots and you're making them, it's going to be a good game for the Razorbacks.
Jason Fort Smith, are we going to stand around and let them shoot threes? Well, I don't know what Cal and Coach Coleman's the defensive assistant, right?
Yeah.
I'm not making that up. Coach Payne is the down low guy. But yeah, I would think that Cal and Coach Coleman are going to employ a pack-it-in philosophy. Now, they're going to change things up throughout the game like they have through every game this season, but that's just kind of in my head. It's like for a team in Arizona that's third to last in threes attempts on the year, you got to make them shoot to beat you.
Yeah.
And if they do, you give them their due and you let them move on to the Elite Eight. But that's the strategy I would look for Arkansas to use against the Wildcats this Thursday.
And let's not get it twisted. Arkansas and their offense and what they do, they are way too athletic and way too skilled with the ball in their hands to not go out there and get their own. I mean, if Acuff has 20 points, we're going to say what a bad night for Acuff. But still, 20 points might be able to get it done if some of these other guys can do it too, which we've seen them, be capable of doing. Just reading through Twitter recently, I saw, are we going to get the Malik Ewan that showed up for games against Houston and Missouri? Are we going to get the Missouri and Texas TV? I mean, you just got to be able to have the best from these guys right now in the biggest moment. And that's not just offensively, like you said. It's got to be defensively too.
All right, we've got to take a break. Before we do, we got to tell you what's going on at Oaklawn this weekend. Racing Festival of the South starting this Thursday through Sunday. You got Fantasy Stakes on Friday, Arkansas Derby on Saturday. The winner is automatically qualified for the Kentucky Derby. Maybe you don't have plans here on the Tuesday. Well, make plans to come enjoy the fun. They've got a 24/7 smoke-free casino, over 1,500 slots, live table games like blackjack, roulette, craps, and more. Plus the Win the House casino promotion, which will feature 230 winners and $350,000 in prizes. Visit Oaklawn.com for more details. Don't forget about Rick Springfield coming Friday, May 1st. Tickets on sale online at Oaklawn.com. That's Oaklawn.com. We've got our SEC update when we come back. We're going to have some fun listening to Kentucky fan complaints. And, man, they're a good time. Stay with us here on A Time Travel Tuesday.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive hotline at 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive, where the ultimate challenge is back and 600 vehicles must be sold in March.
John Calipari, the last Corleone.
This is the Morning Rush.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
When a business has been around more than 65 years, you know they're doing something right. Hey, Ty Richardson for Johnny's Transmission. They've been trusted in Fort Smith and the River Valley since 1959. Located at 1212 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, they strive to make every customer's experience outstanding and want your vehicle to be in the best condition for the road ahead. Check out their website, johnnystransmissionfs.com, and find them on Facebook. Johnny's Transmission, family owned and operated since 1959.
When it's time to stock the bar, fill the cooler, or grab the perfect bottle, stop by River Point Wine and Spirits. You'll love our clean, organized store, full of all the best liquor, wine, and beer at the right price. At River Point, we're a family-owned business where customer service is always our priority. So come stock up for game night, date night, or the weekend ahead. Your journey, our spirit. River Point Wine and Spirits, Grand Avenue and I-540.
This spring, you're organizing closets, decluttering drawers, and maybe even scrubbing places no one will ever look. But here's a thought. Why not declutter your internet, too? If your shows keep buffering, your games lag, or your video calls freeze, that's digital clutter, and you don't have to live with it. Switch to Wave Rural Connect Fiber for fast, reliable internet that keeps your home running clean and clear all season long. Visit waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372.
Come see Cody and the gang on Advanced Mechanical Performance. You can find him at 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Need repair or service for your ATV or UTV? Advanced Mechanical Performance can do it all, as well as taking care of all of your power sports parts accessory needs. Give him a call today at 434-4161. That's 434-4161. Or stop by 3201 Wheeler Avenue. Advanced Mechanical Performance. It's what you should be striving for.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Dad, the driver looks dirty.
You yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Enclaves at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. That's $4,000 off and 4.9% financing for up to 84 months on this luxurious third-row SUV. Or drive the brand-new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited-time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight.
We're about the toughest there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally the hill. It's the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
This is what's going to shock you. If you take the 4 years before we got here and compare them to the 2 years since we've been here, we actually have a higher winning percentage than the last two than we did in the 4 preceding. Barely, but a higher winning percentage. This is also part of that. That's with all these injuries.
Mark Pope did his coach's show yesterday, and I guess they do it after the season, and Lexington and Cal's ended a few weeks ago, and made a comparison a couple years when Cal was there, and I know Kentucky fans aren't happy at how the season ended. How would you describe the current dynamics going on in Lexington right now with Mark Pope, Colton?
I mean, Mark Pope is just, I said it earlier in the first hour, he's limp, and he's just not the type of guy that you think Kentucky would have as the head coach of Kentucky basketball, even if Kentucky basketball has a season where they're no good. Because in today's day and age where you can get guys out of the portal and you might swing and miss, the Kentucky basketball coach should not be comparing himself to the guy that came before. He shouldn't be doing any of that. You shouldn't be saying, hey, the guy that you just fired, that's the standard we're trying to beat and we beat it. Ugh, that's a pretty poor look. The fans are obviously very incensed, and I understand why. They all expect a title the minute that they're born. They really only won, I think, one since I've been alive, two in the 90s, one maybe in the 70s, and a bunch of them way back when, it was peach baskets, essentially. So Kentucky basketball as a whole, they've always been overblown and overhyped. And Mark Pope just kind of fits right in there with them. He was not their first candidate, not their second candidate, third, fourth, fifth. He was all the way down the list. And now that he's not winning the games that Kentucky fans expect him to win, all that stuff just coming to light, and the frustration's going to be boiling over. And they have a new, administration over there in Lexington. They're going to have a pretty tough task to figure out what they want to do with that basketball program.
And that's led Kentucky fans.
Mark Pope is a great person. He ought to be a youth minister, not a coach. He's not going to get any better. If he hadn't played at Kentucky, if he played at Valpo or Purdue and won a championship, he wouldn't be back next year, and we're just going to keep him. It's horrible.
And there's various other opinions on Mark Pope.
The university needs to take a look and look up. If you don't change, you get stagnant and you die. And as far as Mark Pope, he's a great guy, but we rushed. We rushed to choose a coach. Just because you're a basketball player and you win a national championship does not make you qualified to coach basketball.
I will give him next year, but if he doesn't improve next year, he's out.
What'd you say you were going to bathe in Kentucky tears
earlier?
I mean,
fill the Olympic-sized swimming pool up with it. I will do the breaststroke, the free 100-meter butterfly. I mean, I'd be the Michael Phelps of that swimming pool because I love it. I don't have a problem with Kentucky basketball. You hate them because they're typically good, right? When they're not good, it's because their fans suck, and they are always constantly under every single one of Arkansas Razorback men's basketball's Twitter posts. Anytime they lose, oh, I bet you wish you were a Cal. Shut up. Like, you still are comparing yourself to him. That's the gold standard that you'll never be able to attain again because of the fact that you let him go because you were tired of getting beat in the first round. And I get that. Coach Cal, for all the success he's had here at Arkansas, there were some legitimate failures at Kentucky. Getting beat by St. Peter's, getting beat by Oakland, two teams that have yet to be back in the NCAA tournament, that's inexcusable. It'd be inexcusable here at Arkansas, too. So I understand their frustration. But to think that you're just going to get a brand new coach, and because now you can start paying money, that means that you're going to be winning championships every year. Hello, the guy you hired can't coach basketball. What did the first caller say? He should be a youth pastor. He does not have the demeanor to be the coach at Kentucky. To be the coach at Kentucky, you have to have that slick Rick cold-bloodedness, or you have to have that Coach Calipari aura. You can't just be Billy Gillespie or Tubby Smith. And I mean, no hate to Tubby Smith. He's a great
national
coach.
Champion.
National champion. He was a great coach, but they ran him out of town too because he didn't fit their style of, coach that they want. They want a coach that is the best and acts like he's the best. Mark Pope isn't the best, and he knows he's not. And it makes him insecure. And he goes on a 5-minute rant on his coach's show when he should be trying to apologize to the fan base for how poorly he performed throughout the season. Did you hear what he said about how the fact that they built their offense around a left-handed point guard? Did you hear that clip?
Even though that Gabriel was
Why would that matter? At this level, if guys can't do things with both hands, they should not be on the court, like at all. And I understand shooting is different, but dribbling, passing, all that stuff, that's why I couldn't play basketball. My left hand is essentially limp. It doesn't do anything at all. My right hand is dominant.
Well, limp.
Well, I mean,
limp conversation.
Well, whatever. Forgive me, Ty. Anyway, I mean, my left hand was essentially useless out there. But at that level, I mean, that's a terrible excuse. The guy's full of excuses. That's just not the Kentucky standard that I know, that I've heard from that program for years. They'll be back. They'll be fine. But like I said, I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
All right, that is your SEC update this morning, brought to you by Joe's Grill and Cantina. Always love to revel in Kentucky pain, and we always love to revel in Arkansas games, which you can do it at Joe's Grill and Cantina and watch them next to their big TVs everywhere. Half-price apps, cheap taps at Joe's Grill and Cantina. I still haven't had the hot salsa yet. I'm ready to get over to see Wade and Morgan and try that hot salsa. They've got Mexican-inspired specials and happy hour deals from 3 to 6, so you can have fun watching the Arkansas games, wear your Razorback gear, and enjoy the fast, friendly service. Joe's Grill and Cantina, across from Harps on 74th Street in Fort Smith. Any thoughts on that? You can get in here at 877-377-6963. Seth texting in saying they're desperately reaching for anything to make them still feel superior. And that was Arkansas lost that game in late January, and I'm thinking, okay, this stinks. And I know a lot of Kentucky fans are embracing the hatred right now. But I said, let's look up in March and see how we're feeling. Well, we're still playing. They're back in Lexington, or probably in Florida, in Lauderdale or something like that, which, by the way, apparently in Florida, if you're twerking, it's a
saw that.
What is it? Conduct violation? What is that called? Not a misdemeanor. What did I write down? Disorderly conduct, apparently.
Can't do that.
Panama City Beach has not been the same. Lauderdale, and there's various. They are cracking down hard in Florida. So the Florida players, the Kentucky players, all the other SEC teams, the other 6 SEC teams that made the tournament that have been bounced. We'll see if they're caught with any disorderly conduct of some sort. Florida doesn't have to go far. They're in Tampa. Those kids will probably just stay there after their loss Sunday night to Iowa in the round of 32. I lost my train of thought when we got talking about twerking.
Yeah, I imagine that.
What? Go ahead.
I mean, spring break just ain't what it used to be, man. That's just it's a shame.
I guess. Oh, I was going through these texts and the superior. Spank wants to know if you can call Mark Pope
Mark Pope is not sniveling. I mean, Mark Pope doesn't have an attitude. I mean, he doesn't act like he's better than everybody else, and he doesn't. I mean, that's not the same. Mark Pope is. I mean, he's just a shell of himself. He's a tiny little fragile man, so he couldn't be sniveling at all. Not a fusspot either, except for that time that he did. They can find me, Mitch. Tell them. Yeah, they did. How did that feel?
What was it? $50,000.
Yeah, $50,000.
50
that's
grand
fine for him. He's got the money.
All right. So as far as the game tomorrow, excuse me, I'm already getting ahead of myself. As far as the game on Thursday night is concerned. Had a chance to listen to Koa Pete talk about the upcoming matchup with the Razorbacks and on Arkansas and everything else.
Is it on there? I
No, it's not on there.
I'll find it.
That's okay. So an outstanding Arizona freshman. Arkansas right now, you've got two of the best freshmen in college basketball, maybe the best freshman in college basketball in Darius Acuff. A lot of you don't know, or you're just kind of coming around on the idea and looking at Arizona's roster and everything. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you I've watched a ton of Arizona this year. I haven't. But they also have two kids in Burries and Pete that are outstanding. They've got Bradley, Big 12 Player of the Year. They've got other guys that can contribute for Tommy Lloyd. We said this earlier. They're trying to get back to their first Elite Eight since 2015. It's been over a decade. You've been to two since then, 21 and 22, albeit under Muss, but it still happened. So the pressure is on the Wildcats and how they play with that said pressure, being that they're going to have the majority of fans, I would think, in San Jose, huge alumni base for Arizona. I hope it chokes them up. I hope they play tight because I think Arkansas is going to play free. I think that's going to help the Razorbacks in this game come Thursday. And it also helps that you have a stone-cold assassin that anytime he gets the ball at the end of half or in a game, he's going to knock down a big shot. So if that game's close, you got to favor the Razorbacks based on number 5 and the way he continues to dominate down the stretch of games.
And you also mentioned, that stretch of games that we've seen for Darius Acuff since he took off a little bit of a breather in that Missouri game. But in the SEC tournament and now through the NCAA tournament, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a better run of any Razorback player playing basketball, or really a better run for any Razorback player in history than what we've seen the last several games of Darius Acuff. He is obviously one of one. And I know that this is going to be a guy that has some records that will stand for a long time, but this is the thing that we hear in the SEC update that Kentucky will always be missing, is that Coach Cal is going to bring players of this caliber in every single year to where at least if maybe they don't reach that same upper echelon that Darius Acuff has this year, they will at least have the potential to based off of their skills. And that's something that you can always hold faithful to as a Razorback fan to say, hey, we're going to get some horses in here and some guys that can really go. And Darius Acuff is the first one. And now he's the gold standard in which we'll measure ourselves to throughout the rest of the time that Coach Cal is here.
I'm going to guess we're going to get a chance to talk with him tomorrow. I don't know what other player they'll put up at the podium, but that's going to be tomorrow afternoon. We'll give you some updates on Ruskin and Zach. We'll also give you a practice report as well. I know a lot of people want to know what Nick's doing, kind of getting ready, so get some updates on that. It's Arkansas again. We'll take on Arizona at 8:45 Central Time this upcoming Thursday. Other games this Thursday include the where did it go? Why is this? Okay, there it goes. Texas and Purdue, that'll be the game before you. Iowa at Nebraska, Arkansas at Arizona, and Illinois at Houston. I think it's clear and obvious the best game of Thursday night is Arkansas at Arizona. They stockpiled the games on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
You easily, and Illinois and Houston is a close second, but I love the Busch Light Bowl just for the proximity of Iowa and Nebraska. Texas and Purdue, you've got the idea of potentially playing an old Southwest Conference rival or an Arkansas kid in Braden Smith. But the best game Thursday night is the Wildcats and the Razorbacks. Well, I don't think I'm biased in saying that, am I?
No, I think it'll be the most competitive game out of those two, in my opinion. And I'm hoping that the Razorbacks obviously come out on top. But you see Texas, I think that maybe the clock's probably going to strike midnight right there on that quote-unquote Cinderella for the Longhorns, and they'll get turned right back into the big orange pumpkin they've always been. I think Purdue's probably going to handle them pretty well. Nebraska looks really, really, really good against Vanderbilt and in their opening round game against Troy as well, and they've been solid all season long. So I'm expecting both of those two games to kind of be ran away with from Nebraska and from Purdue. Houston and Illinois, that's probably the one that I think would have – I think obviously the second half of the schedule on Thursday night is going to be a little bit better. Obviously, when you have Kevin Harlan on the call for that last game of the night, you're hoping something goes absolutely wild. They're playing that game in Houston, it says, and Houston's in that one. Oh, man, good luck.
That was the whole thing with Florida being in that region. It's like, man, you did not do them you did them a disservice, but the Gators lost, and they will not be traveling from Tampa to Houston. We are brought to you this morning by Matchstick Studio. If you run a small business or you don't have a professional website yet and you're tired of messing with those DIY website builders, then Modular Orange from Matchstick Studio is the way to go. They're based right here in Fayetteville, and they build websites for business owners across Arkansas. Design, build, maintain for just $95 a month, no upfront cost or design fees. With the rise of ChatGPT, Gemini Modular Orange can make sure your business actually shows up when people are searching online. You don't have to fight the website software. Give them a call at 479-755-3043. That's 755-3043. Or you can go online to modularorange.com today. That's modularorange.com today. We mentioned Koa Pete. Here's what he said, the Razorbacks on Field of 68.
Coach Kyle's a really good coach. His pedigree is crazy. The guys just put in the league. And they got some really talented freshmen over there and some really talented, returners that return there. So it's going to be a dogfight, and I'm just excited for the challenge.
And you're salivating if you're an NBA executive or GM or someone, whether watching on TV or in the building, because you get to watch 4 of the best freshmen in college basketball in one game.
Well,
4 NBA prospects in one game.
That'll be fun. If you're an NBA fan and you're looking forward to the future, that's great. I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest with you. And this is the problem with that we see now with basketball and college basketball. These guys that have been playing in overtime elite and have all this media training, I hate that. I want some bulletin board material out of the other team, man. I want what Hawaii was giving us early on in the NCAA tournament. We ain't afraid of nobody. Well, you should be. I want Koa Pete to go out there and say he's going to give Darius Acuff 50 points or whatever. Like, that's what I want. Obviously, those guys are too smart to give them bulletin board material, but, man, that kid's good, too, and he's going to be a real problem for the Razorback defense, but I'm kind of wishing somebody would start a little trash talk. That's what I like.
Well, you mentioned Hawaii, and they talked about, and they answer questions honestly. Like, you get on a kid for being honest nowadays, kind of like you're saying, because people are scared and they've been taught a certain way, and then Rob Martin had an awesome game. He mentioned, I think I could take, and I'm paraphrasing, I think I could take advantage of Darius's Acuff defensively. Well, he did. He had 30 points.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a strength of Darius. He's got to get better if he wants to play consistently at the next level. His offensive game's elite. That'll translate right away. But, Hawaii didn't necessarily execute what they designed to do, but High Point did offensively.
Oh, yes.
They just couldn't stop Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
The issue come Thursday night is Arizona's going to be able to get some stops against you. Can you get stops on the other end?
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean they're going to hold you to 68 points. I don't think that's going to happen. But the problem with High Point in Hawaii for them is Arkansas just went nuclear on them, 97-94. You're not going to win games against a major opponent giving up those type of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And if the game's in the 90s, Arkansas is going to win.
I mean, that's kind of where I am, too, is you hope that you can kind of just outscore, because even in basketball, the best defense is a really good offense. I mean, you can go out there and you can shut guys down all you want, but if you also can't score and put the ball in the hoop, you're not going to have any chance to win the game. So you always want to fall back on the Razorbacks' ability to score and score from all 3 levels with a lot of the guys on that roster. So that's always a good, comforting thing. But like you said, if they can't come down and make stops on their own end,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a really, really long night for the Razorbacks. And we talked about this in a little bit. I know we got all week to talk about it before Thursday, and I know we got to go to break, but they've run into some buzzsaws in the tournament, and you're just hoping that this year that you are the buzzsaw. That's what you really need to be. Take the attack to them.
Think about the recent losses for the Razorbacks in the NCAA tournament. 21, you lost to Baylor, the eventual national champion. Duke, you lost in the Elite Eight, who went to the Final Four, lost to North Carolina. 23, you lost to UConn, who won the national championship. Didn't go in 24. 25, fortunately, loses to Tech, who loses to Florida a game later, had that win. I thought you were going to lose to Florida if you made the Elite Eight. So that one, while it bothered me at the time, I looked past it. I was like, they probably weren't going to beat Todd Golden and the Gators anyway, who went on to win the national championship. Like Colton said, we got to hit a break. We are brought to you this morning by Gaston's White River Resort. Clint, Jacob, the team, they'd love to have you. And they always have a great time for you at Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202. Their cabins, their accommodations are awesome because you're kind of secluded. You can interact with people if you want to, but you just want to do your own thing. You can do that as well. Go to Gastons.com, check out their pictures, check out their videos on their Facebook page, because at Gaston's, it's an incredible time. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
It's tournament time, and the road to the Final Four starts now. ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com are bringing you all the madness this March. Our exclusive coverage is brought to you by Foster Roofing. Our coverage is also provided by Walk-Ons, Legacy Dental and Rogers, and by Ozark Orthopedics.
Here's Acuff dribbling out at the logo. 1:05 to play. Darius left side, going to launch a 3, and he knocked it down. Dagger.
Why are you shooting threes? Drive the ball.
This is the Morning Rush.
Taco Bell's Let's Boxes are going to people's heads. Because once they experience the refined $5 box, opulent $7 box, and indulgent $9 box with the new crispy chicken crunch wrap slider, they start expecting everything to be as Lutz. Home, James. You know you don't have a chauffeur, right? Don't let the Lutz go to your head. Try Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lutz boxes today.
You don't just maintain your land, you master it. And at Sutherland's, we've got the steel to help you do it. Experience the brute force of a bad boy mower. These mowers turn a weekend chore into a victory lap. But every great machine needs a home. Our Sutherland's custom barns are built to last. Call 1-800-66-BARNS. Sutherland's, with 4 stores in Arkansas, Fort Smith, Huntsville, Hot Springs, and Stuttgart, and online at Sutherlands.com. No matter the project, we're here to help, because at Sutherland's, home starts here.
Winter's here, and as the temperature drops, energy use can go up. That means so can your bills. At Arkansas Oklahoma Gas, we know managing energy costs isn't always simple, and we're here to help. We offer practical energy-saving tips, convenient payment options, and connections to assistance programs to help you through the season. Whether you're planning ahead or looking for extra support, our team is ready to help you explore your options. Learn more at aogc.com/winter.
Bounce on into Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas for the best deals on new and pre-owned RVs. Whether you're looking for a motorhome, travel trailer, fifth wheel, or toy hauler, we have them all here at Crabtree. So avoid the madness of crowded cities and hotels this summer by taking your family team on the open road with the perfect RV from Crabtree RV Center. Conveniently located at the junction of I-40 and I-49, family owned and operated since 1950. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
Save some green this spring at Rath Auto Resources. We've been hard at work getting ready for warmer weather, and we've put our best roster of road-ready certified pre-owned cars on the ground, priced to move and backed by a comprehensive warranty. With our non-commissioned sales team, painless pricing playbook, and the nation's best lenders, Rath's got the River Valley's deepest bench ready to take all the hassle out of getting your next ride. Don't settle for just any used car. Make the switch to road-ready certified and save some green this spring at Rath Auto Resources. Voted best pre-owned cars in the River Valley. 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith. RathAutoFortSmith.com.
Is your bracket busted? Don't worry. You can still redeem yourself in the ESPN Arkansas and Mach 1 Motorsports Bracket Challenge Motorcycle Madness giveaway by filling out a Sweet 16 bracket. Go to hitthatline.com/bracket. Our bracket challenge would not be possible without our presenting sponsors: Moix RV of Arkansas, Butler Furniture, Swift Jewelry, and Twin Peaks and Rogers. We'd also like to thank our participating sponsors: Brick Garage Doors, The Right Autoplex, Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley, Century Bank of the Ozarks, Hirsch Feed and Farm Supply, and West Ark Yamaha.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Interested in grabbing a couple of burgers?
Those are good burgers, Walter.
Archer Burger, my God.
This is CJ's Trivia Tuesday, presented by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Fayetteville and Russellville.
I got the shakes that'll make you quake. I got the fries that'll cross your eyes. I got the burgers that'll... Burgers.
When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
Holden was telling me during the break he puts the CJ seasoning on pretty much anything.
Everything. Chicken, fries, I mean, vegetables, burgers, beef, it doesn't matter. It will knock your socks off how good it is.
It's sold in both Russellville and in Fayetteville, and a couple local harps also as well. And time's up perfectly for our CJ's Trivia Tuesday. Now, if you listen to the show, a lot of times I'll give you the answer before.
You did.
In 1994, Arkansas played an All-American point guard for Arizona in the Final Four game where they beat the Wildcats 91-82. This guy went on to play for his hometown Portland Trailblazers and was the Rookie of the Year in 1996. Now, the Razorbacks stoned him that game. He went 5 of 24. Who is that player that played for Coach Olson? 877-377-6963. We've got time here, so you can call us at 877-377-6963. Again, the Arizona point guard. I know immediately your mind goes to Corey Beck, who obviously helped Arkansas win a national championship. But who was the player on the other side that Arkansas shut down in that Final Four game? Again, defense was then a huge characteristic of that basketball team under Coach Richardson, and hopefully it's a staple of John Calipari's squad as they continue on the run. We got the text correctly from Zeke in Gravett. Zeke, that is right. You needed to call in. Colton, who do we have on the line that is called in?
Jay has called us in this morning here.
All right, and TJ's right as well. Jay, what is the answer to our question?
The answer is Damon Stoudemire.
Man, that a boy. That is the answer. Damon Stoudemire, who ended up having a solid NBA career, and for whatever reason, I know the reason why. Thanks to some stifling defense and 40 minutes of hell, Arkansas made him go 5 of 24 en route to a 82-91 loss to the Razorbacks, and Arkansas was able to advance to take on Duke in the national championship game, where they ended up beating the Blue Devils for their first ever national championship.
Just watching that game today, a little bit of it this morning, you can really draw some similarities to how this team plays right now that we're watching to that 94 team as well. Not saying they're going to win a championship and they're the same, but the way they move the ball in transition, alley-oops and lobs, like that communication on that end of the floor, you can definitely compare, because I saw some highlights of those dudes making no-look passes to each other, and I mean, that team chemistry, I think you see that with this squad as well.
Well, hopefully the team chemistry it continues to be there, because that has been, like you said, Colton, a huge part of this team's success
Lead the country
here.
in dunks.
Yeah,
baby.
that is. Anytime you do that, you're doing something right. Hey, as we close out the show, we want to tell you about our friends at J. Pauley Toyota. Special savings going on right now. Sales tax paid on all new Tacoma and Tundra models in stock. 0% APR for 72 months, plus up to $7,000 in rebates right now at J. Pauley Toyota. No payments till May. Certified Toyota's backed with a 100,000-mile powertrain warranty at J. Pauley Toyota. Exit 11 I-540 and 0 in Fort Smith. jpauleytoyota.com. Coming up, Bill Elson, Matt Jones, Big C. Halftime is on the way.
Do you